Welcome back. I'm Allison Stewart in for Rachel. A lot of interesting things happened today. The Dow hit 10,000, professional wrestler Captain Lou died, and a civil war started. Okay, not exactly a civil war, but something more akin to teenage girls in a clique at that moment when they inevitably turn on each other. And you know when that happens, it can get ugly. October 14th, 2009 has turned out to be a really, really bad day to be an elected Republican. Take Republican Senator Olympia Snowe of Maine, who yesterday was the lone Republican on the Senate Finance Committee to vote in favor of sending the health reform bill out of committee. She didn't vote for the health reform bill. She voted to move the process along. For her efforts, Senator Snowe has become the next target of the far right. The blog Red State launched an online campaign today to send 5-pound bags of rock salt to Snowe's Senate office. Get it? What happens to snow when you throw rock salt on it? According to the blog, quote, Olympia Snowe has sold out the country, so we should melt her. Olympia Snowe isn't the first moderate Republican under attack from the right-wing blogs. She's just the latest one. The founder of the Red State blog started a Facebook group called Not One Penny to the National Republican Senatorial Committee. Why? Because the NRSC is supporting moderate Republican Governor Charlie Crist in Florida. And it's not just perceived moderates who are now under attack from their own party. It's some more conservative Republicans like John Boehner, the top-ranking Republican in the House of Representatives. Yesterday, Mr. Boehner found himself under attack in his own state by fellow Republican and general nice guy Mike Huckabee. Huckabee described Republicans like Boehner who voted for the Wall Street bailout as, quote, phony Republicans, people that don't have any convictions. This anger towards Republicans by Republicans played out in a very dramatic YouTube fashion earlier this week as Republican Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina faced off against a crowd of conservatives at a town hall event in Greenville.
What are you going to announce that you're going to switch parties? I'm not going to leave the Republican Party. I'm going to grow it.
Yeah, right. Ron Paul will grow it. Ron Paul will grow it. Oh, yeah.
Ron Paul's a real conservative.
Ron Paul's the only conservative. Sotomayor. Sotomayor. Sotomayor.
I'm going to find people in Maine, Delaware, Illinois, in other places.
Move there.
Fired up, engaging in proverbial hair pulling and wedgies amongst themselves. Strange behavior for a clique that wants to rule the school again soon. Joining us now is Dave Weigel, reporter from the Washington Independent, who has been following some of this Republican infighting. Hi, Dave. Nice to see you.
Hey, thanks for having me, Allison.
Now, Senator Lindsey Graham isn't exactly what you would call a very moderate Republican. He's voted with the Republican Party 91% of the time. So why does he have a big target on his forehead right now?
Well, this isn't new for Lindsey Graham. This is something he loves to do. I've been in the room when Lindsey Graham, sort of unbidden, has gone after Ron Paul supporters. And Ron Paul, remember, before he was a icon of opposing the Federal Reserve, was known in national politics for opposing the Iraq War. So Graham's been doing this for a while. I see the beginnings here, not to read too much into this, but of a split between the conservative base and Republicans who've been enjoying this Tea Party support. I mean, Graham is not going to go along with the base on immigration or on a couple other issues. So while Graham will vote with him on taxes and spending, we're starting to see some of the issues that might break the coalition up here.
Yes, some Republicans egged on the teabaggery of last spring, or at least didn't call him out or do anything to calm him down. And over the summer at the health care reform meetings, the same scenario played out. Have the chickens come home to roost, and the chickens now wanting to run the coop?
Well, Republicans have always been taking flack from Tea Party activists when they try to co-opt the movement. Michael Steele, you'll remember, wanted to speak at the April 15 Chicago Tea Party, and the activists there told him he couldn't come. A number of Republicans said they were not allowed to speak at Tea Party events. And when the Republican Governors Association, which then was led by Mark Sanford, fellow South Carolinian, I don't know what it is with that state, when he called a conference call a new Tea Party 2.0, they balked at that. I mean, these. You can go back and look at who's organizing the movement and who's taking advantage of it, but these Tea Party activists, a lot of them were Ron Paul supporters who don't agree with the Republican Party and still have very stark memories of the party spending the country into oblivion, passing TARP, passing Medicare Part D. I don't think it should be surprising when they rebel and when they stand up and yell at guys like Lindsey Graham.
You've written about Tea Party patriots kind of turning on a sister organization, the Tea Party Express, because the Tea Party Express had been infiltrated, I guess is their word, by Republican strategists and candidates. Is the movement itself fragmenting?
Well, Tea Party Express is an interesting example of a Republican group, Republican strategists were running this thing, that was trying to ride the momentum of what they saw as a new popular movement. So they launched early on in this, but they were, if you look at their FEC reports, the money that was going to Tea Party Express was going to pay for Sal Russo's consulting firm. He's a Republican strategist. And they were never comfortable with this. I mean, there's actually a rival Tea Party bus tour that didn't get as much attention. There's actually a split between a founding member of Tea Party Patriots was removed from the board for joining this thing. So again, here I'd say you can portray this as a Republican movement, a movement that's going to maybe help elect Republicans in 2010. But this is made up of a lot of conservative activists who are untamable, who are like cats that refuse to be herded. In fact, that's one of the ways Mark Williams of the Tea Party Express referred to them, and they took offense at that. They like being unherdable cats.
So where do Republicans like Lindsey Graham and House Republican leader John Boehner go from here?
I think they're going to be surprised at how much blowback they get when the focus in Washington changes from health care. Again, everyone from top to bottom of the Republican Party agrees on that, to a climate change bill, to immigration reform. And I think the next time there's an opening on the court, they've got an active conservative base again. That's something they didn't have in 2008. That's something they missed, frankly. But the conservative base that's rising up is not going to go blindly along with Republicans.
And they're not going to. Not going to go away. Dave
No, they're
Weigel,
not going to.
Reporter for the Washington Independent. Thanks a lot for stopping by tonight.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.